I wonder if those sports are just something you excel at when you're younger, and then you obviously as a kid and you like doing things you're good at. Like Phelps's body was naturally gifted for a pool, got in a
Mhm.
pool shit hot as a junior. So then it's like you set your eyes on these goals, and his purpose was to be whatever the first goal was, and then it was Olympic gold, and then it was maybe the greatest of all time, and he had this carrot, right? But those like for us boring sports to him probably wasn't boring. It was just like a means
Well,
to ends for this purpose that he felt he needed to do.
like anything else, I mean, that became probably his life, right? At a young age, what I mean, it probably was his group of people, right? His friends were at the pool, his teammates. The even when you're young, you travel a bit. That's you get in the bus to go to a meet, or maybe you hop on a plane, and that's your community, and that's your world. Just like BMX was my world, or mountain biking was your world, or and still is our worlds to a certain degree. That's because it's funny because I'll sometimes you think of the energy you put into this thing, had you put it into something else, it's like, oh man, like you're the 10,000 hours rule is kind of debunked, but had you spent your 10,000 hours on commercial banking, or for me it would be, if it was another sport, it'd probably be track and field, because to me the bike was a limiting factor for me. I probably should have just ran track given my build,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
swam even. um it's funny, so just but I was exposed to BMX, and my big brother raced, and I wanted to be like him, and then that's what I wanted to do, and so that's what I pursued. And then all the kind of bricks were laid in such a way that was the road I went down. I'm not regretting it, but it's just a thought, right? But if I'm trying to make this meaningful for someone, because I don't want to just talk about um, my experience with it, but you you can learn to lay those bricks once you transition out of the sport, because your sport ain't going to last for
Yeah.
you being a professional in it isn't going to last forever. It could be a long time, but learning to use that energy and put it into something else. So a great example of that would be like a Magic Johnson, a Michael Jordan, and they built these incredible businesses with the same kind of foundational, fundamental mindset, probably, and work ethic from when they were professional athletes to do these other things. That's cool.
Yeah. What do you mean by debunked? Like I obviously know about and I've read a few of those books. What
Hmm.
part's been debunked?
Yeah,
Or how do you
I've
how do you what do you take out of
yeah. So
10,000
I've I
hours
guess I
now?
guess there's been some, I shouldn't say debunk. Well, I'm going to say debunk, but from what I understand, um, that the 10,000 hours rule, because I think it has something to do with, you can put there's still a certain level of what's the word, kind of inherent or innate talent that
Yeah, yeah, and a
that's
genetic
required.
disposition as
You're right,
well.
right. A genetic disposition, and it's you like, I don't know that I could put 10,000 hours into playing the piano, and I'd ever
No,
even be
no, no.
close to
I think it's
right.
too broad, but because like the books were like it's 10,000 of like the correct, because I could put 10,000 hours into my golf swing, but the incorrect part and not become a professional. But
Right,
it's like
right,
yeah,
right.
you need a bunch of different let's
Mm-hmm.
get back to food ingredients
Right.
to become like pro. You could become a top performer or one of the better people in the world probably if you have the correct
Yeah.
dedicated training and wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
10,000 hours of structured,
Mm-hmm.
not just mailing it in, right? If you just
Yeah.
mail in the 10,000 hours on your bike, you're not going to get that good. But yeah, I hear what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah. So I
it's
mean,
not a
I'm not here.
foolproof thing.
Whether I'm a Gladwell fan, so I'm kind of like, I err on the side of like, yeah, it probably still holds true. But I would argue that, I always joke to people that I should be a lot better than I am on a bike, given how much I've been at it. I'm still working on cornering. I'm still working on jumping higher, like all those things. But um, the skills, right? It takes, or whatever it takes to kind of achieve at a high level in a specific thing, can map over to something else. And that's, for me as a psychologist, that's super important. And that's super important, having been a rider, having to figure out what's next. That's super important that everyone I work with, especially younger athletes, get a little piece of that, right? That there's an understanding there that this is great. We're going to do our best to get you to the podium, to get you to the factory sponsor, to get you the extension on the contract. Great. But like, totally recognize that this is long game, even beyond racing.